Film Club.
And normally I shave when I'm drunk because I fucking hate shaving it. I fucking hate it. It's so boring. But anyway, so I was like doing my beard and it looked all like decent. I was like trimming it like this, a bit of contour. It comes to the point I'm laying like this. And what I do is towards the end, I get my comb and I get the shaver and bare blade it because it's better than scissors, your hairdresser style and stuff like that. So I'm there, my mustache at the ends, they'll flick out like this. And I'm thinking, I'm getting some good length from them. Anyway, and I just fucking cut the end off. I went, shit. Hence why this is actually quite a bit shorter than usual. I was fucking fuming.
Thank you very much for joining us for another episode of Film Club. I am one of your hosts, Andy Harrison. To my right, as always, it's the immensely well-groomed Andy Donaldson.
Not as well-groomed as this week, as last week.
Possibly the easiest intro in the world.
Well,
that was bizarre. You normally shave when you're drunk.
Yes, I shave when I'm drunk because I fucking hate shaving.
Every single week in Film Club, we invite you along to watch a film with us. We dive into some of cinema's best before coming back here to talk it out. Andy, what have we been watching this week?
Shame.
I fucking knew it was coming. I didn't know when you were saving it for. Right. Tell me, what is the story of Shame?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Story of Shame. Shame, done by Steve McQueen. Stars Michael Fassbender, his sister Kerry Mulligan. Anyway, Fassbender is a sex addict who's a high-earning gaffer in a high-earning company, a top-billing company, who likes to fuck. And it's kind of like his internal struggle with himself, his shame, his inability to find intimacy in his life.
Express himself.
Yeah, to express himself, yeah, and his struggles, and it doesn't really explain why he's like that. It doesn't explain, it barely explains why he's like that. It barely explains where he's going to go and how he's going to go through it. It's, I tell you what, when we did a film, it's a little snippet of his life, and it moves on. It was when we did that film with the, what was it? LA Confidential. He said it's like a snippet in his life. Or Bullet. No, it was when we did Bullet. He said it's like a snippet of his life.
Yeah, I was going to say LA Confidential's a bit broader.
Yeah, sorry. It was Bullet. When we did Bullet, it's like a snippet of his life. I used a really good phrase to describe that. And I feel that for this...
Slice of life.
It's a slice of his life, probably. It's a slice of Fassbender's life. Or in this case, what's he called? Brandon?
I'm going to call him Michael Fassbender because, when it's Michael Fassbender, who cares about whatever name he's going by?
I do. It's Steve McQueen's Shame. Yeah.
So, if anybody has never heard of Steve McQueen before, please do not get Steve McQueen, the actor, mixed up with Steve McQueen, the director.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't really help, that reference to Bullet.
Yeah, no. That's what I was thinking.
Whoops.
Steve McQueen, the actor, wonderful actor, Bullet, Great Escape. Steve McQueen, the director, only done 3 films so far. Is that right?
English director. He's done 3 features.
So, first he did Hunger.
He did.
Which I've yet to see.
We're going to do it next week.
Still looking forward to that. Shame.
Which we'll just watch this week.
And the one people are probably most familiar with is 12 Years a Slave.
Which I've only seen the once, and I watched it with our dad, and in the cinema, and fuck me, I pretty much had tears in my eyes.
Yep.
Like, that is strong.
I have never...
all of his films are strong.
All of his films are strong. I'm taking your word for it on Hunger, but we'll see next week as well. 12 Years a Slave was the one which blew up for him primarily because it had such a difficult subject matter and dealt with it in such a nuanced, delicate, and emotionally impactful way.
Yeah.
Does that translate to Shame?
I think it's on a different level.
Oh, yeah. Good answer.
Because 12 Years a Slave is obviously much more. I mean, we were coming off when we did last week. We did Spike Lee's Malcolm X, and we're just saying how prolific that was for being a black director and that.
Yep.
Hence why we moved forward and do Steve McQueen, who himself is an English black director. Him coming out in the field and doing something like 12 Years a Slave is huge, and
less so now as someone like Spike Lee paved the way for that.
Of course. But I'm saying that, so when you do 12 Years a Slave, obviously it's huge. I think it's huge to the subject matter. Shame it's less so about that idea of rights and being a black director. Shame in itself, the whole film is about addiction. So it might not be something that we can essentially completely relate with, or it might not be in the I said not in the forefront, but it's not something that's everyone knows about. It's like massive in society. Addiction is massive in society. It's just not that. It's not talked about, but
it does a similar job to what 12 Years Later actually does.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is addiction in itself is something you either really experience or you might not have experienced addiction before. Yeah. Therefore, and it's also something that's maybe not talked about as much as, like black rights and stuff like that. So therefore, it's something it's a side to addiction. It's addiction, and it's a side to it you wouldn't normally see, which is what I like about the film. It's
absolutely. This was your first time seeing Shame?
Just first time seeing Shame.
So, how do you think this compares? Before we get into the details of it, how do you think it compares to Hunger in 12 Years? Like within the ranking
it's hard to say with Hunger because this is what I'm looking forward to seeing next week. Because I saw it at one of those sessions where it was late at night, and I wanted to watch a really deep, impactful film. It was strong. Hunger is fucking strong, and again, Fassbender absolutely nails it with his performance. 12 Years a Slave, I remember more, and obviously I'll always remember that moment in the cinema where I don't want to give spoilers away for 12 Years a Slave, but obviously
he spends 12 years as a slave.
Yeah, but the ending sort of thing. And there's not, like, Shame didn't hit me as hard as it did in 12 Years a Slave. Hunger, I'll watch it again and I'll let you know my answer for that. But it does hit you. I don't think, obviously, the big part, if we jump to the end, the big part is obviously when he finds his sister and he absolutely breaks down. He has an amazing moment. Is it towards a pier or something? And he just, like, breaks down like just himself. Like, kind of an outburst of emotion, which seems to be lacking all film, apart from his anger.
Yep, yeah.
That didn't hit me as much as definitely 12 Years a Slave. And I can't say with Hunger, but I believe Hunger is more, if what I recall, is more deep.
So I would argue that's not actually, at least I don't find that to be the most impactful moment of the film. For me, it's when he goes to the club, when he goes to the gay club.
Yeah, that was strong, that, because he's almost like trying to avoid it. He doesn't know whether to do it, and then he just goes in, and then
because that represents his moment of desperation.
Yeah,
that represents his moment of just giving up. And for those of you who have watched this, I've talked to other people about it, and for everyone who's aware of like the scene, obviously it's this moment where he's
getting with that lass, isn't he? Like, so he's on a date with a girl.
Yep.
He works with, and it's like he's really good with her. They have a great click and everything like that. They go back to an apartment that I assume he rents. Go to have sex, and he's impotent. He can't get it up. Maybe down to the fact that he can't be intimate with people.
Yeah, so I think that's the point. Is that as soon as there's any sort of real connection, it's a turn off for him.
But then after that, she leaves. He's like head in his hands. He doesn't know what he's doing. Then he goes and I assume just gets some sort of prostitute.
Yep.
Ends up absolutely going at it with her. And then after that, he goes to to the bar.
To the bar and gets into
the girl. And gets in the guy, whacks him because he hits on his lass.
Yep.
And then and he's been exceptionally confident, too forwards really.
He tries to get into the club. Yeah. Or he gets turned away.
He's always like that. He's like, what the fuck am I doing, sort of thing. And he's down with, and then obviously it culminates in him coming to the gay club.
Yeah. He's being self-destructive at that point. That's the whole point of those first couple, or those couple scenes, is that he's gotten to the point of self-destruction, and he's gotten to the point of almost desperation. The big takeaway I want to make from this is that, so when I was talking to other people about it, I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding of that scene, that he's not realizing that he's gay. He's not realizing that he's bisexual.
Yeah.
That is a straight person who is so addicted to sex that he's exploring this avenue which isn't part of his sexual identity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is such a difficult thing to communicate, and Steve McQueen does it fucking wonderfully without any dialogue.
Oh my God, yeah. So
because this film throughout is very, very light on dialogue.
And I love that.
Yes.
I love that. It reminds me so much of Drive in that respect. Which also had Carey Mulligan, who weirdly, ironically, if anything, she's the more vocal one in this film. Where in Drive, she's less vocal and stuff like that.
Yep.
Very cool, very cool. I absolutely love those scenes where they just stare at each other. What better scene? And I love how it cycles on itself at the end of the film. Is in the tube when he's looking at that woman, exchanging smiles, looking like that. The long takes that Steve McQueen's, I realise he's now kind of famous for. Mm-hmm. Just there and just using the eyes, and you say yourself, you said it in a few episodes. You said that actors can act with their eyes and stuff like that.
Yep.
Fucking hell, they just kill it in this.
Yep.
They fucking kill it, and the use of silence really, and in some cases letting the environment, letting the imagery, but also letting the music speak for the moment.
I believe in my show notes, I described this as silent intensity.
You absolute nerd. You fucking nerd. But yes, it's fucking huge, and I don't think this film would be the same if it wasn't for that silence.
No, not at all. Yeah, because it gives you those moments of contemplation. It gives you the moments to reflect on things and think a little deeper on things, and to start to get into his headspace a little bit. Because that's what his film's all about: is trying to understand this guy and his motivations and where his head is at. Because the film kind of purposely opens on this blank slate. Like you don't know about his sex addiction out the gate.
Yeah,
you don't know about his heavy use of pornography out the gate.
With the whole PC stuff. So my PC's gone.
Yeah, exactly. His work PC's gone. Turns out it's absolutely flipping filthy.
It's your intern. Yes, it is.
His boss is just like, who would do this to you?
Well, it's interesting actually when you mention his boss, because his boss is a bit of a dick.
Yes.
Obviously, just got high profile party and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ends up banging his sister. He gets pissed off. Can I just mention this one shot?
Go for it.
The fucking running shot.
Yes.
It's like, that's my favourite shot in the whole film. Yes. It's so fucking good. Like, so just a tangent. That is insane. Like, how he's managed to do that. What I love about it is how he's managed to do it, especially in an environment that's still active. He's not just probably like, let that go. And you can tell when he goes to the intersection. Because he's going like this, and like real people he's passing. And Michael Fassbender, again, fucking nails it in that. It's so straight, so forward.
Beautiful.
How the hell have they shot that in like a dolly or some sort of car? I don't know.
So
like,
yeah,
so
hanging
smooth.
outside of a car. You guys seen this down here now. This 2D tracking flat plane shot.
It's so good.
But my favorite thing about it is he's running against buildings. Then those moments where it opens up because he's crossing the road, and then it closes back down, and then it opens back up again. It's beautiful.
Oh, man, it's such a good
this
shot.
whole film is beautiful. This is a film which looks at times like a David Fincher film. Yeah, it's blues and greens and dark light.
David Fincher is Mulholland, is it?
No, it's David Lynch. David Fincher is Fight Club.
I always mess those up. I always do that
every time.
Fuck's sake.
It looks like a David Fincher film at times, but then when it doesn't look like a David Fincher film, it's because it's too busy being more sophisticated than a David Lynch film. David, you've got me doing now. A David Fincher film. There's stuff where like he uses this really lovely whites and lovely soft shadows, and then at times he's doing these deep, rich, contrasty blacks.
Yeah, because if you think about the outside cities, the deep contrast blacks.
Yeah.
And yet the inside of his apartment is very clean, it's very minimal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nice contrast there.
And then another talking about amazing shots in this film, the opening shot where it's just Michael Fassbender lying on this bed, and it's a bird's eye view looking down on him, and it's this bed cover that's just full of texture, and the light kind of pours across it and lets the shadow like fill in all these little lines and stuff. Like, beautiful. Just this film is beautiful.
Yeah, tangent there. This film looks incredible.
Yeah.
Going back to my previous point, and it's only a tiny bit now, I realise that's a much better tangent. We should really stay on the fact that this film is shot amazingly. Weird thing about this film is I get the idea as if him and his sister have a little thing for each other.
Yeah.
And I discussed this with Mike. I didn't know if that was just universal. And what I like about it is she touches upon that in the history. Like, it's not like we aren't that bad people. It's just like we come from a bad place.
Yep, they clearly, something happened in their past that fucked them up.
Yeah, and I liked how they left that then. Credit Steve McQueen and the writing, because it was two people who wrote it, wasn't it? It was Steve McQueen and it was a woman called Abby Morgan. I assume it's a woman.
Sexist. Carry on.
Well, yeah,
Carry on, you dirty sexist.
Find many blokes called Abby.
Carry on, you dirty sexist.
Okay. And it's amazing writing, and it just leaves it open in amongst all these other things, like the actual character of Brandon himself, and how fucked up he is, like that. Yep. What better moment to end on that? Then what I like, kind of going back into the whole silence issue, is the use of music in the film.
Oh, the score in this film.
I know, right? I know, right?
This big orchestral sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well played. You know your orchestra.
I know. I don't know how to point out us.
So yes, you have like quite well known songs. Yeah, like I think Calvin Harris's Bounces on there when he goes to the club and stuff like that. Yeah. So these songs are, by the way, Kerry Mulligan fucking nails New York.
Oh.
What a fucking that is my second favourite scene in the film.
Yeah.
Let's just jump on that because fuck me. And I thought like there's a little snippet of her doing it. I was thinking, fucking hell, she can sing like this. Going through, you see, oh my god, it goes to Fassbender crying, but it stays in it, and it stays for the whole song. Yeah. That is insane.
Whole scene, an entire song, which takes place on 2 shots and has just 2 cuts in it.
Yeah, so Steve McQueen again, long shots, absolutely nailing that part of it. But the film in itself you have all these like kind of like songs there behind it, but you have an overall score. It's actually I always get these mixed up. I should know more than the name. Diegetic sound, isn't it? It's on-set sound.
Yeah.
So it's Diegetic sound that Brandon has. He has like a record player, and he puts use of Bach. So he plays Bach, and Bach is the majority the classical that you hear. Like when he's running down, he's running to Bach and stuff like that. Amazing. It really sets the tone of the film for him and as a character. Like this guy, again, sophistication.
But I love that it also represents as a character, he has this deep love of music. And he talks about her having this deep love of music as well. You know, it's something that's been part of their upbringing. Yeah. But he is so lost in this sexual obsession.
Yep.
He never picks up an instrument. You never see him engage in music.
That's very interesting.
And it's this lovely, subtle storytelling that's as part of the film.
Just one mention in regard to the music. So you obviously have Bach there. A huge shout out to also the score that was composed by Harry Escott. Fucking absolutely, it goes alongside Bach so amazingly well. Really well done, man. Because fucking hell, this film absolutely just nailed it.
But then it's the music's incredible, and then he knows when to take it away.
Yes. And again, use of silence.
That's where the silence comes in. One of my favorite examples of that is when he's trying to get intimate with the girl he's in the relationship with, and the whole thing just has no music over it.
Yep.
Compared to the opening scene where he's sitting across from another woman on not the opening scene, but close to the opening scene, where he's sitting across from a woman in the subway, and that's booming orchestral music because it's this intense moment for him.
It's so fucking good.
It's wonderful. Like the film is. I remember seeing this and not expecting anything from it. This is the first Steve McQueen film that I'd seen. And not knowing what Steve McQueen was, not knowing like anything about him, and just being blown away at this raw, very emotionally intensive,
good word,
but also subtle film. And
I think another word you used well is sophisticated. That was a really good way to go on about it.
It is. I mean, this is a guy who's very clearly methodical in the way he approaches filmmaking. He's very clear in that everything he's doing has a very delicate intent.
Yeah.
Another prime example of that, the date scene with him in the restaurant, and one of the slowest track in I've ever seen in a film. It starts in this big wide of the two of them at the restaurant.
Oh shit, does it really? Does it go in?
The whole thing.
I suppose you put it down there.
Yeah, the whole thing just tracks. And
nice.
and tracks. And the whole dinner scene, the whole date scene plays out in one shot.
Yeah, but by the way, that fucking waiter can piss off.
Yeah, but again, like what wonderful timing just to have that waiter come in every now and again.
Again,
to create
all
the
one shot, wasn't it?
Feels so natural, so real. Again, so honest. The kind of the awkwardness of the date and everything. I adore this film. This is a film which every time people ask me for like my top 10 films, I always forget about this. But as soon as someone says Shame, like, damn, that needs to be in my top 10 films.
It's so good that even made a sound clip of it.
Shame.
So that is Shame. You can let us know in the comments below what you thought of Shame, and please do, because this film is a film which I could talk about for hours on end. But we'll be back once again next week, where we're going to be talking about another Steve McQueen film in the form of...
Hunger.
You can't even get it together for
Hunger.
this.
Hunger.
In the form of Hunger. If you want to be part of the club, get watching me. It's back here to talk about Hunger. We'll see you guys next week. I am so excited for it.
You're going to enjoy it a bit.
I'm looking forward to it. That was terrible.